They tell me some old friends are in the back here. We're in good company. All right. We are in an incredibly critical time within the evolution of our culture. One could certainly say that one could be forgetful, or one could certainly say that meditation, didn't really work out this year, so I certainly will do it next year. This is the time to begin to meditate on a regular basis. If you have time to breathe, you have time to meditate. You need to get unplugged from whatever it is and begin to make a priority between what is important, because the soul is on a path of returning home. So what do you want? Do you want to go home and feel that you have accomplished what you need to do, or are you going to be one of these individuals that never quite got on the bus and has been complaining that you did not get on the bus? So to making a decision at this particular point of where you want to be, there are times where we can certainly say, I've got a year, I've got 2 years, I've got 3 years, I've got a bit of time. In actuality, your time is running out. That doesn't mean you're going to die. It just means that there are opportunities and pockets, doorways. This is based upon the world of where you are. It's also based upon your culture, from what's happening in the world and moving right into 2012. Does this mean that it's coming to an ending, or does it actually mean that we are here to forgive ourselves? We are here to forgive others. We are here to identify that these emotions certainly is an orchestra of peptides that are just there to define what we're experiencing, but are to not really describe our nature nor our character. And as an individual moves forward into the upper realms of quantum consciousness, they become released from their karma. People have acted out relationships with their children in a particular manner. It is time for change. It doesn't mean that you're not being effective. It means that if you are not being effective, then it is time to really look and say, has it worked, or do I need to find a completely, utterly different approach because I am going to move forward? And I can't continue with the same baggage of goods as I have with my job. The soul, one could say, is actually being heard for the first time. This sounds like a very crazy concept, but in actuality, you are raising your vibrations like you have never done before. You are lifting yourselves out of the density of your own existence and bringing yourself into a higher realm of possibilities. What people used to think was fun was to spend an absorbent amount of money on shopping, or an absorbent amount of money on alcohol, or going out until all hours in the morning, as we thought that these social events from the 80s and 90s brought us closer to our own happiness, but in actuality, they just drove us deeper into our addictions. We are now at a particular point that we have become quite boring in our own right. Drugs, cigarettes, alcohol, partying, all the things that used to be these great fixes don't work any longer. Even being upset, being angry, being outraged seems to trouble us. We're tired. We're not wanting any longer. We feel disappointed with most relationships. We are dissatisfied. Trying to develop relationships never seem to have the same luster as it did when we were all drunk and all thought that we could challenge the world and did not have a care. And now that we are waking up, we're realizing we're wanting to be with conscious people. Friendships doesn't interest us. We're interested in a way of life. We're interested into consciousness. We're interested in being able to be in the moment, to play cards, to laugh, to be in the moment, and to really share an open heart, because all these other factors of life that once worked, that socially were so applauded, do not seem to work any longer, as they were byproducts of the ego. So, if you are needing to change the dynamics with your family, with your friends, then start from the bottom up and really look at where you are going to cultivate, renovate, and reestablish relationships. In a particular family, when someone is in a family where they make fun of each other, or they make fun of others, this continuously creates the same baggage and never liberates us. If we are in a family where we are highly critical, each family has its own dynamics. Become aware of what are the dynamics in your family or the dynamics within yourself and bite it in the butt. Because as you move forward over the next 3 to 4, 5, 6 years, if you have not bitten that in the butt, it will literally keep you company in your next lifetime. If you do not bite these habits in the butt over the next several years, then good luck to you, because they shall be your identity. The culture is changing as we are no longer just accepting the density of consciousness, the lower levels of awareness. We're realizing that we are needing to lift ourselves into higher realms, that we are not in the universe, but the universe is within us. We are no longer our families. We are a spiritual being, needing to have spiritual experiences, not a spiritual being having emotional experiences. We are a spiritual being that should not be our family. We ought to meant to be a spiritual being of great grace and liberate ourselves from the karmas of our ancestors, our families, and the social conditionings that we have become a part of. Be a great leader, meaning that we can see through the illusions where we need to cut ourselves up, where we need to make fun of someone else. To be narcissistic, to see through it all and to be detached means that we can still live within the world, but we do not carry the baggage that our family, our ancestors, or the world around us carries. There is a dramatic shift within humanity that is going to take place over the next several years. Partially because there is a huge quantum leap in awareness, in consciousness, and awakening that is happening more than ever before. This is not, oh, well, we've heard this before. In actuality, you can feel it within your body. You can sense that your soul isn't satisfied with your job. Your soul is telling you to move on to another job, if that is what your soul is telling you. For some, it says, sell your home, invest your money differently. For some, says, get out of your country and purchase a property somewhere else. It is different for each individual because the soul is trying to prepare so that you can move forward. The soul, in a sense, has been kept quiet. We've learned to medicate ourselves with our emotions. We've learned to medicate ourselves with thoughts. We've learned how to medicate ourselves with conditions. And now that we are passing beyond all these limited egotistic senses of ourselves, the ego, the egoic self, we've been taught that it's great to speak back, that we applaud arrogance, we applaud ignorance, we applaud power, we applaud dismissing each other. Even in society, when someone has been incredibly clever, we applaud them for being manipulative. This is coming to an end.